If I wanted to say something to Hong Kong people is just ignore them. We should not give any legitimacy to the election. We should not pretend we've got an election ongoing. It is just a selection from Beijing to pick whoever they want to get into the legislature. Democracy, if you are saying that our system, it is definitely not there. But if you're talking the spirit of people fighting for democracy, I think they're still there. It's just because the situation is just too draconian that they cannot transform this spirit into actions. I think we should not underestimate the determination of people, and we should not overestimate the kind of like sustainability of such a gigantic totalitarian system. We've been seeing China having a lot of problems. They're stepping into an aging society. They're getting more isolated on the international level. They're struggling on industrial transformation. These problems can hamper the economic performance of the Chinese Communist Party, which it is the major mandate of people and the major source of legitimacy.
As tensions between Russia and Ukraine escalate, U.S. President Joe Biden said Friday he is crafting a plan to avert a crisis.
I have been in constant contact with our allies in Europe.
And make clear to Russian President Vladimir Putin that the costs of any military action would be steep.
To make it very, very difficult for Mr. Putin to go ahead and do what people are worried he may do.
Biden's comments come after Ukraine's defense minister Oleksiy Reznikov cited intelligence reports that Russia had amassed 94,000 troops near the border and may be gearing up for a major offensive in the new year.
Our intelligence analyzes all scenarios, including the worst. It notes that the likelihood of a large-scale escalation from Russia exists. The most likely time to reach readiness for an escalation will be at the end of January.
Earlier this week, the Russian military released video of drills in a region bordering Ukraine. Ukraine followed with its own artillery drills. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov met with American Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Stockholm, Sweden this week, and said Moscow did not seek a renewed conflict with Ukraine.
Everyone is talking about the escalation of tension in Europe, in particular on the Russian-Ukrainian border. You know our take on this very well. As President Putin stated, we don't want any conflicts.
President Putin is the decision maker in Russia, and it's very important that he hear directly from President Biden.
On Friday, Blinken told the Reuters Next summit that Biden planned to speak with Putin in the coming days and will tell Russia the U.S. was determined to stand up to any aggression against an ally.
And also to defend the territorial integrity, the sovereignty, the independence of Ukraine.
In a rare move, prosecutors on Friday filed criminal charges against the parents of 15-year-old Ethan Crumbley, the Michigan teenager accused of fatally shooting 4 classmates in the deadliest U.S. school shooting of 2021.
These charges are intended to hold the individuals who contributed to this tragedy accountable and also send a message that gun owners have a responsibility.
Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald said James and Jennifer Crumbley are facing 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter for buying their son the weapon used in the shooting and for failing to heed warning signs. McDonald said 4 days before the rampage, James Crumbley brought his son with him when he purchased the handgun used in this week's attack at Oxford High School. She also detailed chilling social media posts from Ethan and his mom Jennifer in the days following the purchase.
On or about November 26, 21, Ethan Crumbley's social media posts reveal photos of the semi-automatic handgun, along with the caption, "Just got my new beauty today," including an emoji with hearts, "Sig Sauer 9mm. Any questions I will answer," end quote. Subsequent to the purchase of that weapon, one of Jennifer Crumbley's social media posts on about 11/27/21 read, quote, "Mom and son day testing out his new Christmas present," end quote.
The prosecutor described drawings and writings made by the alleged gunman in the lead-up to the shooting, suggesting the possibility that he was planning to open fire, but the parents refused to act.
A drawing of a semi-automatic handgun pointing at the words, quote, "The thoughts won't stop, help me," end quote.
The Crumbleys met with school officials about the drawings on the morning of the rampage, but according to McDonald, did not pull Ethan out of school. When Ethan's father heard reports of the shooting, prosecutors say he immediately drove home to look for the gun, which was missing.
Further investigation revealed that the 6-hour 9mm handgun purchased by James Crumbly was stored unlocked in a drawer in James and Jennifer's bedroom.
Parents are rarely charged in connection with children's school shootings. Unlike some states, Michigan does not legally require gun owners to keep their firearms secured from children. Ethan Crumbly faces 24 charges and is being held without bond.
You do get a little smoke off of it too, which is...
Michael Kudra tends bar in San Francisco, and at Reuters' request, he sampled a vodka that combines the flavor of environmental catastrophe with the taste of innovation.
Yeah, there it is. You get it more now.
This is Smoke Point vodka. The wildfires that blanketed California's vineyards with acrid smoke in 2020 ended hopes the grapes might end up bottled as wine.
As soon as you see smoke around your vineyard, you need to suspect, especially close to harvest, you need to suspect that there is a possibility for that aroma to get inside the berry.
Nicholas Quill is the operations officer for Crimson Wine Group, which owns Pine Ridge Vineyards Carneros brand in Napa Valley. Rather than make a wine with an ashtray aroma or throw it out, he partnered with a distillery, Hangar One Vodka, to turn the wine made from smoke-tainted grapes into hard liquor. One bartender approves.
You get that like light, almost like a taste of a barbecue. Not like from far away, that smell. If you know somebody's using coals.
Our goal was not to make a smoky vodka.
Emily Webster runs sales and marketing for Hangar One.
Vodka is basically a neutral spirit, but it does retain the character of the base material. So we were hoping to create something that was new in the category of vodka, neutral-ish, so that people could enjoy it while also doing something good for their community.
All proceeds from sales go to the California Fire Foundation, which assists firefighters, their families, and communities.
I hope that we won't need that every other year.
Quill is glad the grapes found their way into a bottle. But with increasingly severe and frequent drought across the western U.S., wine might become a casualty of climate change.
If things would have to turn for the worse and those fires become more violent and more frequent, it's definitely an option that needs to be on the table.
A tech stock sell-off dragged Wall Street lower Friday. Stock market darlings like Nvidia and Tesla led the downturn. The choppy session capped a volatile week weighed down by fears that the Omicron variant would slam the brakes on the economic recovery. A mixed jobs report from the Labor Department didn't help either. Hiring slowed in November, but wages rose and the unemployment rate dropped sharply. Fiduciary Trust International's Karen Pei said investors deemed that report strong enough to keep the Federal Reserve on its path to accelerate its tapering of bond purchases.
We did get a message from the Fed that they are going to likely or potentially consider moving more aggressively, I think, in response to some of the inflation data, right? I mean, we're continuing to see higher inflation.
The Dow fell 0.2%. The S&P 500 lost 0.8%, and the Nasdaq dropped nearly 2%. On the week, all three indexes lost ground. The Nasdaq's biggest decliner, DocuSign, plunging 42%. The electronic signature software company that saw heavy demand amid the health crisis issued a weak revenue forecast, warning that demand for its software had slowed faster than it expected. Nvidia declined more than 4%. The Federal Trade Commission sued to block the gaming chip maker's $80 billion planned acquisition of British chip technology provider ARM. Shares of Didi Global plummeted. The Chinese ride-hailing firm surprised the markets with a U-turn just months after its public debut. Didi said it'll withdraw from the New York Stock Exchange and relist in Hong Kong.